Yeah, g'day everyone, and welcome back to the Gold Coast Titans Frontline podcast, live all over social media. So please do bring in those comments for us and questions so we can bring them on screen and react as we go. Russ, what can we say, mate? It's another fantastic week for the club because we moved 2 spots higher on the ladder than the 4 reigning premiers, the Penrith Panthers. Special stuff for the club, isn't it, mate?
How good is that? We're on top of the Panthers right now. We just conceded 50 points, so we can't actually win the comp this year. You know, stats prove that. But yeah, another solid performance. Only losing by conceding 38 points in the second half. Oh, good effort.
And I'm just thinking too, we did concede 50 in the preseason challenge, so I'm not sure if that counts as our season being ended. But either way, mate, not a great week for the club. Not a podcast I expect many people to be tuning into or interested in.
I don't blame people, to be honest.
It's tough.
It's hard, man. And it's just getting to the point where people are like, it's the same year for the Titans. And like how we're playing at the moment, man, like we're both probably thinking it. Like we're very big contenders for the spoon this year.
Definitely. I think only the Knights look worse than us.
That's what I was going to say, the Knights, yep.
They're the only team saving us. Welcome in J Lad from YouTube. We'll get to that question in just a sec, J Lad. Let's start with grading our performance, though, Russ. So I've got us with a D-. I think it's as close to an E as you can get.
Yeah.
The fact it's getting worse each week is a bad trajectory and a bad sign. No, last year when we lost our first 6 games or so, at least you could kind of see improvements as the season went on. It's getting worse, and that's scary.
We're getting worse.
What would you grade us though if you had to give us a grade?
About the same, man. D-. Like the only reason they're not getting getting an E is because they showed up for 15 minutes.
The thing is, for me though, like I think, okay, we turned up for 15 minutes, but
you're never going to win a game.
Yeah, I just don't want to hear about it because I know we can do that. I know we can play really well in small patches against any team. I would honestly rather see some consistency over the 80 minutes where we're not dominant for a small period, but we play average for 80 minutes. I'd genuinely rather be average for 80 than good for 15 to 20 minutes like we are. So you called it last week. You did say your key to victory if we are to beat the Cowboys, it needs to be an 80-minute performance. You said anything but an 80-minute performance won't cut it, and it didn't cut it to be very
man. Like we went into halftime 18-12. Yeah, I was not confident. I knew we weren't going to win from there. But as soon as Jeremiah and Nanai scored with about 3 minutes to go, that's our first half, I was like, no, they'll run through us here. We just didn't. Yeah. We had 10 minutes of brilliance where Beau Fermor looked amazing.
Yep.
And he was our shining light in that game. You would agree with that. But where was everyone else?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else.
It's like when it gets tough, it's for the opposition. It's literally like hot knife through a butter, or we just give up and fold. So it's really disappointing, mate. Let's go to the Titans news segment. Jimmy Jolliffe, he is facing a 2-week suspension with an early guilty plea for his high conduct on John Bateman. We released Kenny Mamalo during the week. Not huge news. He never debuted for us in the NRL. And no other news, guys. I know people might be wanting to, talk about news, recruitment, retention. It was a very quiet time for the club, so nothing to discuss there.
Did Brock Gray get suspended as well for his sin bin, or?
So how his one will work is he got charged with grade 1, but it's his third offence. So he'll be liable for a $3,000 fine. But because he's not a top 30 player, he can elect to take a 1-game suspension instead. So I suspect he'll just pay the fine, but you never know. We have seen players, take that suspension instead. Let's go into the game review specifically, mate. We go down to the Cowboys, 50 points to 18. Let's start with the obvious, conceding 50. Tough to take in any round for any team. And it's tough for us on this podcast, Titans fans, because we want to come in here with a positive outlook on the podcast. And, of course, our main goal, the reason why we do this podcast is our passion for the Titans, of course. But we want to encourage, motivate, and inspire people to join the Titans Frontline community and grow the club. But, how can we play?
It's so hard at the moment. And when you just have people go, it's the same old Titans all the time. It is. I've been supporting this club since 2007, since we've joined. And I don't think I've ever had a year where I go, we could win it this year.
Yep.
The only year, maybe when we were early on, when we had Scotty Prince and that around, the only time. I don't have a year like we're always going, we'll have a good year if we make the 8. I've never had that confidence saying we can win the comp.
Yeah. I'm just thinking back, 2010, we made the prelim, lost to the Roosters. They lost to the Dragons in the grand final. I think in 2011, the subsequent year, we were like dead last, or we were definitely bottom four. We didn't back it up. So that would have been the only year where I would have felt any sort of confidence there. But look, no one's happy with where the club is at the moment. And I think we need to discern there is a key difference between happy and proud. Of course, we're all still proud to be Titans fans. We're proud, to be around our club, but that doesn't mean we're happy with what we're seeing. We look destined for another tough year, so it's just genuinely disheartening. I've only got one positive, mate. That was Beau Fermor, and I'm going to say it here. Without a doubt, he was our best. Yeah, I think so. I can see Winnie's asked that question on Facebook. He has to be in the mix for me. I know Nanai played very well as well, but I like Beau's. I think Beau has a bit more of a tougher edge to his game than Nanai. Would you agree with that?
I agree, and Beau Fermor, we've both put him in our 3-2-1 nearly every week. He showed up every week. Him and Tino have probably been the only two that have showed up every week. I think he definitely deserves. He was 18th man last year. I'm pretty sure he was in the camp last year. Yeah, in the camp. I think he deserves. I don't know if he'll start, but I think he'll definitely get a bench spot.
Yep. I think it'll come down to, does Billy Slater want an edge forward on the bench that can cover a middle role? That can, like maybe someone like Max Plath that can cover edge, lock, and hooker? Or does he want someone, I'm just trying to think of an example, someone like Ruben Cotter or Tom Gilbert that can play back row or middle?
Well, we know those two will definitely be there.
Yeah, I think it really depends what sort of makeup they want to go for the bench. But I'd honestly be comfortable with Beau Fermor starting with the form he's in. I don't think he would let anyone down.
He wouldn't, no.
I don't think he would.
Who normally plays back row? Like Tom Gilbert was out last year. They had Nanai.
Yeah, Ruben Cotter moved there last year.
Oh, he played back row, didn't he?
Yeah. So
he even normally played back row for club.
No, he could move back to the bench. You could bring in Beau, and then you've got an option for Cotter, whether you want to share minutes of hooker with him. They got options.
We have seen in the past, Billy Slater does not like to use Dave for feeder. So who knows?
Well, look, without a doubt for me, Beau has overtaken Dave as our best back row at the club.
I agree.
Forget pay packets. I know, like Dave can certainly have a bigger game than anyone on our team, but if we're talking
more consistent,
you got to go with Beau. Look, I think it's at the stage now where it's another season where we all came in with optimism. We all hoped that, with a new spine, an exciting spine, something could happen. For me, there's only two ways we can go here as a club. And I don't want to say this too early because it is only round 8, but because things are trending in a negative direction, I'll say it. They either need a third party with a neutral bias and nothing to do with the Titans to come in and completely review the entire way we run our football department. And I'm talking an expensive third party, like paying the All Blacks management staff to do it, or a successful English Premier League team or an NFL team. Come in and review every single aspect of our football department. That could help. Or quite simply, we need to pay Craig Bellamy $10 million a year and take a big hit financially because that's out of the salary cap. That's the 100%. Only way I can see us improving, man. I know they sound like crazy options. They are.
I agree with you, man. Honestly, I think about Craig Bellamy's probably the only coach who could probably get something out of the Titans right now. Just how we're playing and how we look the last 10 years. He's probably the only one that would go, oh, yeah, now I'm actually believing we have Bellamy there. Like, when has he not made a top 4? Yeah, he's been in the Storm all the time, but still.
And the other thing is, too, with someone like Tino, when he was at the Storm, his numbers were nowhere near as impressive on the Titans, but he came from the bench and he had genuine impact on every single game. Now, Tino has been one of our best and consistent players this year, but it does get to the point where it feels like he's just racking up stats with no impact. And it's not his fault because there are obviously 16 other players on the team, but that's the way it's trending because everyone just seems so out of form. Stat here that no one will like. The last time we beat the Cowboys on a Saturday was 2012. And I thought, why is that? And, typically they're afternoon games, right? And they could either be at Townsville or the Gold Coast, but an afternoon game, it's going to be hot regardless of that location. You're going to fatigue faster. That brings out the worst in sides. That makes you face adversity. That makes you either the cream rise to the top or it gets too hard and you simply don't play your best football. And I think that for us, the hot weather games against the Cowboys just brings to the surface all of our deficiencies and all the areas where we're not very good. We face that adversity and we just fold. And I'll say it again, Russ, this isn't a football side without talent. If there was a nines competition play tomorrow, I would put my hard-earned cash on us if we were full strength.
Yeah, 100%.
If the NRL came out and said, hey, we're only going to do 40-minute games now, it's 2 20-minute halves, I'd back us for the premiership.
Yeah,
we'd be top 4.
But we can't put an 80-minute. We can't put an 80-minute performance in. Like, we leaked 13 line breaks on the weekend.
It's crazy.
That's
crazy.
Never going to win games.
No, 13 line breaks.
13. We had 4. They had 13.
That's unbelievable. 13 line breaks. 13 times they went clean through the line.
Yep.
And was left, to our fullback to tidy it up. You'd have to come. Sorry for Jalen DeGroot there. That's ridiculous. Yep. Look, I'll just finish on this. For me, full credit to the Cowboys. They extend their winning streak. They look to have turned around their poor season form. We expected them to beat this. They did. Tommy Dearden, 5 try assists. I thought individually he was switched on mentally longer than anyone on our whole team. He on his own was just
amazing, man. He picked us apart.
He did. Ryan William Boyle from Facebook says Brad Arthur could save the Titans. I'm not sure if I agree with that, Russ. Would you think Brad Arthur could be a good signing for us?
No. Because I would put Des Hasler as a higher caliber coach than Brad Arthur, and Des Hasler's not getting results at the moment. So
yeah, I've got him in a similar tier. I think they're both a similar tier of coach where Des Hasler built the Bulldogs roster. He built Manly's roster back in the day, and Brad Arthur showed at the Eels he could do that. I don't necessarily think our problem is building a roster. I know our roster isn't the strongest in the NRL, but I'm not sure Brad Arthur could come in and do too much more than what Desi's already done for us. 3-2-1's time, mate. Obviously, I think I know who your 3 is going to be. There is only one. There's only one answer this week. If anyone doesn't have this bloke for a 3, you didn't watch the game. 3 points is
Bo Fermor, man. Come on, he absolutely killed it. He had a try assist, and he had a disallowed try. Like, he looked amazing. He was breaking tackles. That first half in particular, he had a really solid performance.
One thing I like for Bo as well, because obviously he's my 3, was not so much the attack that you mentioned was super impressive, but every time they made a break, if anyone goes back and watches the highlights or replay, Bo is always chasing. He's always one of the first ones back on side, and that is the sign of a champion player. That's the sign of an Origin player.
Yeah.
So that's what I liked most about Bo's game. 2 points for you.
Tino, man, has to be there. Still being a workhorse. He's still putting up the numbers every week. And for 1 point, I don't know who to give 1 point to. No one else stood out for me at all. Maybe Mo. Mo had a bit of impact, but none of the backs for me. Honestly, Mo. I'll give Mo 1.
Yeah, I've got Tino for my 2 points. I feel bad for him, and I don't know if I'm overreading this, but I did see someone on one of the Titans groups saying, has anyone noticed his attitude shifted a little bit in press conferences? And I have. Let's not forget he has release clauses in his contract, and he does not look happy at the moment, and he shouldn't. We're losing games, but the energy he's bringing to post-game press conferences, he does not want to be there.
No, and I don't blame him. He's just been pumped by 50. People are saying how bad we're playing. He's copping heat, but he's still putting in every week. But it's not a good reflection as him as a captain. You know what I mean? And if we keep going like that, why would he want to be there?
Yeah. One thing as well was with our side being young and having so many errors and issues in our game. You look at the Dolphins when they started as a club. The first thing they did was try to sign Jesse Bromwich. Jesse Bromwich didn't even average 100 meters while he was there, but he's a club guy. He's there for the younger players. And
that's right.
Tino, we forget, is still a younger player.
He is. Yeah.
When a player with 50 to 100 games comes to him and says, hey, mate, do you have any advice? Tino isn't leaning back on 300 games experience in grand finals. Well, he has won a grand final, ironically, but he's not leaning back on multitudes of success and rep experience and accolades in the NRL. He's still a developing player himself. Billy McCracken from Facebook says we don't give up our bench. It just isn't NRL standard. Yet the difference between our starting 30 and the rest of the top 30 is so dramatic. I agree with you, Billy. We don't use our bench properly.
Our bench rotation's been terrible.
It's shocking. Tino,
we've been saying it every week.
Yeah.
We've been saying it every week. Again, Arama Howe, 7 minutes.
What's the point? Like, seriously, mate.
What are we doing? We've been saying this every week. Why? Like, I know the game's over. We're getting pumped, but why? Put him on in the first half. Put him on with 10 minutes to go in the first half.
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
Don't put him on the bench.
We are the only team in the NRL, Russ, that's not using a full 17 at the moment.
Like, it's just...
you don't finish a game watching... We'll use the Bulldogs. They're a great side moment.
Yeah.
And go, Kurt Mann only got 8 minutes.
Yeah, no, he gets 25 to 30.
Yeah, they're bringing Kurt Mann, Satili Tupanua, Bailey Hayward. They're bringing great forwards off the bench and using them effectively. We just aren't. And as J-Lad said, and yeah, to add on to what I said, Jesse, I agree with you there. Tino's an absolute machine, but we are using all our interchanges on him because he comes off for 5 minutes and then replaces Moeki. Then he comes off again and replaces Jimmy Joloff after his stint. Then he comes on again in the final 10 minutes. So there's only 8 interchanges. That is almost 50% of our interchanges, man.
Why are we using him like Payne Haas? Payne Haas is another prop forward that plays absolute bulk minutes, probably the best prop forward in the game right now, yeah? And he goes off probably about the 33-minute mark in the half, and he comes on about with a half an hour to go. So he's still playing 65 minutes of that game, 67 minutes. But he gets an ample break over the half time. Like, why aren't we doing that for Tino? We want him to play 65 minutes. We can do it. Don't put him on for 20, take him off for 5, and then it's just not right.
And the other thing for Payne Haas is it's a straight swap for swap. So like Corey Jensen will come on for him, bring energy for the last 10 minutes. Then the coaches will say to Corey Jensen, go nuts for the first 10 minutes of this half, mate, because you're coming off. So he goes wild again for 10 minutes, and then it's a straight swap for Payne Haas. So there's 2 interchanges there. We are changing Tino with throughout our forward pack, so it's strange. My 1 point goes to Jojo Fafita. 66 meters, clearly not good enough, but at least somewhat solid in other areas.
It's hard to give one.
It is. I don't really want to give someone a 1 point. Sorry, Jojo. Affiliates recap time, guys. Mackay Cutters, they defeat our Tweed Seagulls in the curtain raiser to the NRL game in Townsville. So Tweed dropped to 11th on the ladder. But our Ipswich Jets are flying. They defeat Wynnum Manly Seagulls 22-6. That moves them up to 6th on the ladder. The side they are versing this week, I can't remember who it is, but they haven't won all year, so you'd expect us to win that as well.
Hopefully they can keep winning,
100%, man. In Tweed, we had Zane Harrison play and Sam Stevenson, 2 of the youngsters we're keeping a close eye on here. Now, it's great to see them getting minutes at reserve grade level, but the Malmaninga team that they were in earlier, they're either in the prelim this weekend or the grand final. So I think they'll drop back to there.
They'll play in that. Yeah, for sure.
Makes total sense to drop them back and make sure we win at that level. Cleese Haas, he dropped back to Tweed, only 88 metres and 18 tackles. And probably...
It's not enough to come back into first grade after, he got dropped.
That's what I'm thinking. Jimmy Joloff's suspended, so he probably will come back, but that's not screaming to me. And I love Cleese, but it's not screaming.
Has Josiah Polu, has he been playing? Is he not putting up numbers?
So he increased his minutes this week to 54 and ran for 141 metres. So
that's better.
Yeah. But our reserve grade player, one more note actually, guys, Ken Marlowe, he actually played for the Jets despite being released by us earlier this week. So I'm not sure what's happened there. Strange, unless he signed a quick deal with them. But our reserve grade player of the week, guys, is Alan Fitzgibbon. He dropped back to reserve grade level and scored a double, and he had 223 metres. So for me,
that's good. Yeah.
Would you agree he's overtaken Tony Francis?
He'd be number one winger drop. If Loffy's out or Fafita or Sami's out, I think he comes in for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you completely, man. Alrighty, time to talk changes to our team. If you guys are listening to this as a podcast after the fact, we don't have team lists in front of us. We're recording Monday at 5:43 p.m. live. Jimmy Joloff likely out suspended. What are you thinking there? Do you think we just bring Cleese back in and play it safe, or do we give a debut to someone like Tukey Simpkins, Josiah? What do you think?
I reckon Josiah Polu come into the I reckon 100%. He hasn't played it all year, and he was always solid for us. Give him a crack.
Here's the awkward thing, right?
I know he's leaving.
Exactly. So
I know they don't want to.
We don't want to develop someone that's signing with the Bulldogs next season, but by the same token,
we need to win games, but
exactly. And is he going to play more than 6 minutes? If he is, sorry, Arama Howe, but
put him on.
If you're on the bench getting 6 minutes a game, surely we have to have Bahulu there. And like he did increase his minutes to 54. So he's got some match fitness now. I would definitely, and also we're versing the doggies, mate, who he's going to. So maybe he'll, elevate his performance against his future teammates.
The doggies will have a couple out. I'm pretty sure Tupanua is gone, so that's impact off their bench. He's been big off their bench. Burton's gone for a game, so they'll probably put Bailey Haywood there, I'm guessing, who's not so much as a ball playing 5'8", but he is solid in defense. And Curran's out as well. So that's like 3 decent players for them that are missing. 3 of their best. We need impact. We do need impact. I think, why not? If Arama Howe's not having minutes, put Tuki Simpion and Pulu on for Jolliffe and Arama Howe. And one other change I would probably think about doing, I think it needs to be, is if Foran could be back this week, there's talk he could be back, he needs to go straight in the halfback. We need a leader like him out in our backs, and Brimson back to fullback. I
think Tommy Weaver's brought a lot with his kicking game, but you could certainly feel the Cowboys knew to target him in defense.
Man. Like Nanai, they targeted him. They ran straight over him like 2-3 times.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Nanai is an Australian caliber player and rep player when he's on. Tommy's still young and a reserve grade half, so you can't be too mad at the kid. But yeah, they definitely exposed. I'll give you another change here, Russ. Chris Randall at back row. Why are we persisting with that?
No.
Tino at lock. I don't think it's working. I think Des Hasler kind of had in his mind the old school big forward pack he had back in the day at Bulldogs, where it was Sam Cassiano, Aiden Tolman, and James Graham, 3 bigs. I think we should play Mo and Tino up front, drop Chris Randall back to lock, give us a little bit of mobility in the middle.
I like Randall at lock,
and bring RCG from the bench. I'm sorry, Reg. I know you're a former Kangaroos player yourself, but your form hasn't warranted starting prop.
He only had 25 minutes as well.
That's
I'm pretty sure I looked at, like, he's a starting prop. I'm pretty sure they only played him 25 minutes on the 24 minutes.
That's crazy.
So, I mean, he did his first stint and didn't come back on unless he's injured. So, I don't know. See, Mo 54 minutes, Randall 64, and obviously Tino 62. That's the bulk of obviously Dave came on at the 20-minute mark, played the rest of the game, but I just reckon Dave Fafita's got to play the 80.
Yeah, if he can, he needs
to.
It's that simple. We need his hands on the ball as much as possible.
100%.
Andrew from YouTube says, I would say about forwards aim up. There is no excuse why we shouldn't win. So let's go into our game preview segment. Sunday, 1:50 p.m., Suncorp Stadium, guys, for Magic Round against the Bulldogs. Andrew, I wish I had the same confidence as you, but let me break this game down for you in 2 words. We're screwed. We really are. Now, I was hoping the Bulldogs drop-off that we saw last round would occur against us, where they get complacent. But because their first half against the Broncos was so atrocious, I've got no doubt they're coming out to bulldoze us early.
They're coming to Magic Round, and they are gonna be firing.
The only thing that can stop this from being like a 30-point loss is the fact Curran, Burton, and Tupanua are out. That is 3 key players for them.
Yep.
That is the only thing in our favour. I give us a 2 out of 10 chance.
Yeah, I've given us 1 or 2. Like I don't less than the Cowboys last week.
Yep, I think I gave it 2 for the Cowboys even. So yeah, you're right. I'd have to be lower than that. It's when we talked about the Cowboys game, we said we need a lot of things to go our way. For me, even if things go away in this game, it doesn't matter because the Bulldogs
are playing better footy.
Side. Yep.
Yeah.
Everything can go away. The Bulldogs won't drop their head. Hey, their first half against the Broncos sucked. It was the worst 40 minutes they've put together all year. And they came out, and I don't know if they won the second half, but it was so much more improved.
Yeah, they looked good again.
Yeah, I've got no confidence here.
And we versed the Bulldogs round 1 this year, and we did put 24 points on them, which is big. Not many teams have done that. It was the first game for them, but we lost that game in the first 20 minutes as well against them. Yep. Like they put 20 points on us. They put 4 tries on us in the first 20 minutes.
And it's almost a case of what we see this year with sides where the first half is so dominant. The second half, the other team gets back into the game and it looks like they've improved. But it's like, have they really? Or did the dominant team just say, hey, we've already won and took their foot off the pedal?
Switched off, yeah.
But as you said, they've already beaten us this year. Since that game, they have gone on trajectory, a vertical trajectory. They've been awesome and gotten better. We've gotten worse. And the only other thing in our factor is it's now a neutral venue. It's no longer a home game for them. We are conceding roughly double points per game than them so far this year. We are scoring less points than them. I don't see a pathway to victory, guys.
It's going to be very hard. I think the only big positive is Burton being out. Their kicking game is going to be nowhere near as good. They've got Toby Sexton there, but obviously Burton's got a massive boot on him, and they won't have that. But yeah, I'm the same as you. It's going to be hard.
I can only reiterate what I said when we versed them in our opening game. Our forwards are larger than theirs. If they can steamroll them and build some sort of momentum, but their wrestle in the last game was really good. They slowed down our big forward pack. So maybe we can come up with some ways to get around that and get fast to play the balls, really utilize our larger forward pack. But I've got no faith we can do that for 80 minutes, even if we get that right.
We were just saying about how Tommy Weaver had trouble against Nanai. He's going to be up against Kickow this week on that side.
Doesn't get easier.
That does not get easier. Like, it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, so sorry, Titans fans. I think that's just the reality of where we're at. We both can't really see too many pathways to victory.
I hope we do. We'll both be there. We'll both be there this weekend, so we want to win, but
we'll be loud, passionate, proud. But yeah, it's going to be a tough one. I think the Doggies will have us by probably double digits, if I'm absolutely honest. But fingers crossed we can just get some improvement on the board. Alrighty, guys, that will do our rounds 8 to 9 NRL live show. We want to say thank you very much for being here with us, whether you're watching us live, dropping your comments as we go, or you're listening later as a podcast. We appreciate it all the same. Fingers crossed for a miracle this round, Russ. I think that's all we can hope for. We'll both be there. And, take care, everyone, and we will see you next week. Go the Titans.
Go the Titans.